Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be doing the Geelong vs St Kilda game review through AFL Fantasy, going through how everyone went, and I mean what a game this was. Another really good game. I'm pretty sure I'm now at 6 for 6 in tipping and 9 out of 9. I think I'm actually in the top 2% across everything. I mean, I thought it was pretty simple tips throughout this round. The only tips that have been really controversial were the Sydney, and then also obviously the one that I got wrong in the first round, the Carlton one. Other than that, I think everyone's been sort of a 90% tip, and they've got it right. I think the Gold Coast one in round 1 against Richmond, I think that was a 71, but other than that, it's been pretty straightforward, and yeah, so doing really well on that one. Another one that I got close, another one that I got right, and I think I tipped it pretty close as well. I think I tipped Geelong by, I don't know how many, but I think I tipped them in a close one. But yeah, Geelong getting it done at the Cattery. Another, just the older guys just standing up yet again. And I mean, this was a nervous watch in terms of fantasy, just because Holmes got off to the rocket of all starts, but he slowed down again. But anyway, before we get into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, as well as just also following me on Twitter. But we'll quickly jump across here, and then we'll get to the Twitter space. As you can see, a lot of stuff is happening. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, here it is over here, as you'll see my sort of round updates. You can sort of see this one absolutely popped off, this this tweet, as well as just some Whitfield willing it on. And something I'm learning quite quickly is never to post halfway through a game, as Whitfield. Yeah, that one. This one, that was actually a pretty good mid-tweet. Obviously that, and then this one as well. That was not fun to go through that, as well as I think I deleted one other tweet. But let's just see. There you go. A lot of people just replying with their scores so far. And a lot of people, it seems like 21 to 2200 is where a lot of people will land, but let's see how the Sunday games do, as that sort of will change a lot of things up. So Dangerfield 105 just really kicked that sealer at the end, which got him up to 100. And yeah, Mitch Duncan 99, he had a really good second and third, but outside of that, I don't think there's really much fancy relevance for him. Only 8 above his break even. Holmes 99, so did the work early. He could be one that takes it away from us, but as you can see here, 40 points in the first quarter. He was on fire, and then did nothing in the last quarter, which helped to hold him. Ollie Dempsey, I had him in my side. I told my mate that he was a watch, and he's gone and done that, and now is probably going to be 300k. So I'll see if I can get him in for Clark. If Reed gets up, I probably will just go with Ollie Dempsey, as it looks like he will be a massive cash gen, and I don't think Dean will be as much of a cash rise as Ollie Dempsey will next week, when Ollie Dempsey has like a -10 break even. So yeah, Ollie Dempsey's probably going to be the one that I get in, and you'll see it through here. If I go here, you'll probably see me drop potentially Campbell, just because the role is horrific, or Jai Clark, because Jai Clark could potentially be a sub-risk. Obviously Seth Campbell still has a good negative break even, so it probably will be Clark, and then just slide the likes of Darcy Wilson or Lazaro into the M8 role, as Jeremy Sharp's there as well, and we'll see what happens there. But yeah, so I'm looking at getting Dempsey in here in the next trade, sort of between rounds 1 and round 2, as his cash gen is undeniable now. Colin Jasney, Cameron Bruin came off, but then went back on and did an absolute whirlwind to get up to an 88. So he looks a really good player, but I think next year will be interesting to see if he goes from what I suspect will be, he will average about 85 to 90 this year, and I don't know if he may be the one next year where he goes to 115, 110, as he has the attributes. He has the tackling sense. I don't know what exactly he ended up with. If we go here and we go back here, go to fixtures, go to Geelong, and I'll cover the last game in the game that I'm not going to cover today. There's already been played. I'll cover that on Monday. So we have here, just looking at Tanner Bruin, what a stat line, 20, 10, 10, and 2 and 8. So yeah, I think he's one that can easily, with the likes of Dangerfield going in the next sort of 18 months, I think that the likes of Tanner Bruin will step it up next year. I don't think it'll be this year, but I think next year he could be one that breaks out, and it's way too early to keep a watch on that, but just that's my thoughts about that. Tom Stewart, I thought this was something that was going to happen. An 85 from him. Not the worst, but yeah, I think Max Holmes and Duncan are there as well, which is going to take away from him. Tui, Guthrie, Blickars, Myers, Connor. There is no one here that you have to worry about. And then we get down to Jai Clark, 32, 26 or 27, whatever, break even. He's going to be fine. I mean, he's going to make cash. He's going to get a 60, he's going to get a 70, etc. But it may be slow cash burn. So we may need to just trade him out because we want quicker cash generation. And I think that's what's the case with Clark's going to be. He's going to be 240k. So yeah, I may use the cash they gain from a Grundy to Sherry to swap Clark around. But we'll see with the Jerry break even what it is, and Grundy's break even, as I may just be swapping rookies if it is a lot closer than what I think it's going to be. So that is pretty much Geelong. We always go through Geelong in about 2 minutes because they are not fancy relevant half the time. Then we go over to St Kilda. Marshall had the biggest second half, I swear. Only 19 in the last. I thought he had a bigger last. 47 in the third. Absolutely huge. So yeah, he ended up with a 118. Steele 108. This is exactly the Steele I thought we were going to get, even though he was slow in parts. He lived up to what I thought he would do, and that is absolutely perfect for him. Ended up with a 108, and yeah, just absolutely what we needed from him. He looks a good pick. He could have even had a lot more. But yeah, his non-disposal work is back, and he could have easily ended up with... What did he end up with disposal-wise? Let me just see. He ended up with 25, 7 and 6. That is absolutely what we need. And I hope he can get some 30 possession games, because if he can get some 30 possession games, he's going to get those 110s, 115s, 120s that are really going to help his... I guess his cash generation, if you want to say, but also just his getting the big scores out. Bono 102, one guy that I missed just because I wanted the Jackson because of Reedy, and I went down to a rookie, so 30 odd points burnt there by not getting Bono, but I do have him in Supercoach, which he went, I think, 102 as well. But yeah, he looks a really good part. Wonder how the Sinclair going in there is going to affect him, but I don't know if it's going to affect him too much. King 94, he burnt a couple of people, but he looks their most dangerous forward. 2 goals 4, but not really fancy relevant. Wanganu Malira 84. I wonder if he's the one that doesn't take that what we thought would be natural growth. But it's one game. I wouldn't jump off of him because of one game. Woods, Burns, Wilson 63. He looked really good. Probably a fieldable option now that we have gotten it away from them at the Cannery, and now they have Collingwood at the MCG, so it'll be interesting to see what we do there. I reckon he'll be fieldable, and so it'll be interesting to see who I take off my field. Probably a Harley Reid type, as I think he's the one that can easily jump a 80, 90, but he is a winger, but looks like he could easily get a lot more marks in a wider MCG, as that was really awkward. 115 metres width for the GMHBA, where it's usually about 140, I believe, at the MCG. So that 25-30 metres is absolutely huge in those wingers scoring. So he was lucky to pop up with 2 goals to get that cash and started, but not too worried about him being on the bench, to be honest. Membry, Wilkie, Windhager 61... didn't do anything, not really relevant. Brad Crouch, he's going to drop in price very quickly, not as much as Sicily for the biggest dropper of the year, but a 59 from him, it looks like Steele being back to his best is slightly going to impact him. Henry, Philippou, Battle, Higgins, Ross, Docker, Owens, Hill, Cordy, and Collard. Collard getting a point from a free kick, and that was all he did. Not really going to be fancy relevant. These 2 teams are not really fancy relevant this year outside of Bonner, Steele, Marshall, Wilson, and then you've got Clark, Dempsey, and also probably Holmes, and that's about it for fancy relevance this year. There's no one. These 2 teams seem to year on year be not really fancy relevant, and they're not really fancy relevant again. Manor hit 23 from 22 break even, so he beat his break even, but we get another week of him because he's going to be 201k, and that's not really fancy relevant at the moment, so I would be holding on him. And hopefully he gets a non-sub game, as he looks decent with when you don't have him as a sub, as he should be getting 60s or whatever. So we'll wait on him. He's definitely an upgrade target when he doesn't get the vest, as he looked pretty good outside the vest. But I don't know who they're gonna leave out of the side to get him in. So yeah, anyway, that pretty much is the video. Another small video again, because there's not really fancy relevance from Geelong versus St Kilda, but I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Gold Coast Adelaide, as well as the two other games that haven't been played yet, and then Tuesday we'll have the last game that hasn't been played yet. That will be the Brisbane West Coast or something game or whatever, the Brisbane Freo game or whatever, and then you'll have the round review, as well as the, I guess, cash cows, trade targets, and then also predictions and team previews for round 2 for both Supercoach and Fantasy, and then we get into another week. So that's sort of the plan, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.